This is Listening with Franklin Livingston. And our guest is DG.
Unfortunately, actually, it reminds me of, you mentioned God-fearing Catholics. There's a gentleman, I think he's some sort of head or chairman of some big evangelical organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I got him shoes. He owed me money.
Mm-hmm.
I reminded him a couple of times, a long time ago, and he said, "Why are you making such a big deal? It's just
like
this, right?"
Yeah. If it's should I say that to you
point-
also when you were trying to borrow from me? I just don't want anyone.
Yeah. To me, it's about, it tells your character.
Yeah,
It
the
shows
integrity.
That. It's a long time ago, I'm big on conventional wisdom. It's a long time ago, someone taught me, I don't even remember who, but someone said if you want to see someone's character, right,
Mm-hmm.
either loan them money or
wow. Mm-hmm.
loan them money or make them wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not waiting 5 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
Say you were an hour late, 2 hours late,
Mm-hmm.
and see how they respond. And third one was travel with them and see how do they deal with different things.
Mm-hmm.
Eating and
how you deal with mundane things.
yes. So money is so interesting. I have a friend in Illinois, actually, and I heard him saying that when you're developing friendship with someone for 6 years, there shouldn't be any conversation about money, right? God forbid things happen. It's not, I'm saying if there's someone, dying and needs some help, that's different. But in general, if somebody's saying they need some money because they want to buy something extra, which they don't really need.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have had those kind of friends too.
Yeah.
Or they have unwise lifestyle, because I have had friends who were I'm just going to pay you back, but they never stopped smoking, they never stopped going to a strip club, they never stopped being drunk all the time. So there's a problem there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in those instances, so he said his life's kind of rule was that if someone is a friend and for 6 years, if you don't get to hear that I need money, will you run me some money? That you can maybe go longer, right? Or when you're traveling with someone, this is, he didn't say that, this is someone else. And then, some people are quick in pain. I used to be like that. Sometimes I'm still learning and changing my habits. But when you're quick in pain, I'm going to pay. So if, say, the journey lasts for a month, or we're making, let's say, a road trip from the U.S., right? Then next person, does he or she think it's okay for you to keep doing that, or they try to make a balance, or understand that it's not. So that's why you're traveling a lot. Or let's say, God forbid, there's an issue with the tire. Will they get off and try to off the car and try to help you? They're go check out while I'm on my Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Or if you pumping gas, you learn a lot, right?
Yeah, those are uninhibited moments now, because you cannot. It's hard probably for someone to just fake it, in a nice way when you're just dining out, or in the work space scenario where you need to always have your best foot forward. So yeah.
But the sad reality is, money can convert blood into water, right?
Yes.
So you can't say, I'm talking in general, I'm saying you can't say that if I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a parent, that money or the greed of having money. It's, I think, greed, right?
Yeah, it's
And,
because I think so, because
yeah.
it's wanting more than what you have, at least basic things, right? So
Because it goes back to the moral values. Like, say somebody keeps 20 grand in front of you and say, no one is watching, no one will ever know. You want 20 grand, or I wanted to kill your sibling or parent, right? And for some people, 20 grand can change their life. They'll view it that way.
Yeah.
And it's the moral belief system. That's why I have been really emphasizing on this show that where do we learn our moral values and beliefs? Because you mentioned about the show, I am already confused and so disappointed by the people around us. So I don't think I can watch those kind of shows. That's really extreme. And simple things bother me, like road rage or lots of honking or people. Or the same question you say, where are you from, right?
Yeah.
Because that question, how it's said, a lot of times has this tone while you hear what you said, right? And so you don't like that because you had no control when you came here. For a lot of people, like I had a Korean professor. She moved to the US when she was 9, and her struggle was, she said, people don't ask, why did you come here, in terms of what was the reason or the context or the background, right? They say, why are you here means you shouldn't be here. You don't belong here.
Just like what's this at work in Oregon, when I was told, why are you Filipinos here? Yeah, they see it like, I don't know, we're helping. I tried to highlight to her that we're actually helping you out, because without us, who's going to see you? Who's gonna help you? Do you understand?
But see, if you make so there's a narrative. I'm going to give a biblical example. I think it's in the book of Acts. One of the apostles, I think it's Peter, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. He saw a dream, a vision, and he sees there's a, what do you call, a tablecloth.
Okay.
And then it has all the animals, even prohibited animals that you shouldn't eat, including these reptiles. And he hears a voice, God, telling him that things that I have blessed or declared pure, you shouldn't say they are unholy. This is a paraphrasing, right? So that vision was to tell the apostle that Jews and Gentiles, at that point in that time in Christianity, which was just forming, the Bible wasn't really as a canon and all that, so was to remind that Jews and Gentiles both are now sanctified by God. Both are accepted by God, blessed by God, including reptiles, because the Apostle Paul, St. Paul, as you call it in Catholicism, he was a terrorist.
Yeah, before,
right? He used to kill Christians. He was a Jew. He was a Pharisee. And he was a very fundamentalist Pharisee. And he used to take pride in killing, I killed so many Christians today. But then he got converted and accepted Christ and became one of the apostles, right? So that's what I'm saying, that a lot of these states and the culture was rooted in the Christian teachings. Christianity was a dominating religion or culture. I think it might be the same, because there was a point in American history where liquor was prohibited because of the church's pressure.
Prohibition times.
Right?
I like it. Going to have you gone
do you
to
want a liquor?
We're working. We cannot do it right now. No, I'm just kidding. No. I like all this. What's this? Prohibition times. Pubs in New York,
I don't know. I'm talking about 60 years ago.
No. The real one.
Oh.
The real one. No. These pubs are like in commemoration, or like they're trying to, how do you call that? See, my English is now.
It happens.
It's now,
it happens.
yeah,
You feel like, oh, it's
it's now
done.
betraying me.
I ran out of
Yes, yeah, yeah.
vocabulary and sentences.
No, I could. In German, we say "Es liegt mir auf der Zunge." It's at the
Great.
tip of my tongue.
I have no
Yeah.
clue.
I took up German
Of
classes
German language.
for 4 years. Yeah. But anyways, I was wanting to express it in English, but I could not really. It's at the tip of my tongue. I could not really pinpoint the exact terminology. But these pubs are like, how do you call that? They're like the prohibition times from before. They're showcasing what it was before. It's nice because when you go there, it's kind of like dark and everything. So yes, prohibition times, the war, the times.
Yeah,
of,
but
like,
what
the
was like
whiskey,
if the
what was that
culture
then?
was so dominant,
Yeah.
and the culture was rooted in these Christian values, where it's all over the Bible, especially New Testament. Jews and Gentiles, we all are same, and because the Jews were considered the real people of God and the chosen one, and all the Gentiles were not, and now you all become the children of faith, the children of Abraham, and then still you have an issue whether Jews are white or not. Is it ethnicity, religion? And then people who say Gentiles, we are Gentiles, using that analogy, right? Then we should be treated the same way as the chosen ones, because in generally the chosen ones are white people in
Yes.
American mindset, because
Yes.
that's why Jesus is white. That's why apostles are white. That's why heroes are white. That's why leads in TV shows and movies are white.
Yeah, so then we need to be like all equal, but we don't live in a perfect world, right? So, by the way, the pubs are like patterned after the prohibition times, the moonshine period. So that was what I was wanting to express, patterned after. So, anyways, but
No,
I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
look, we can never ever live in a perfect world. But what I'm saying is, when you walk into a church, especially where you walked, and a pastor asks you, like, "Hey, are you a
Healthcare worker, yeah.
Because not worker, assistant. And,
It's like that, yeah.
So when they think of an assistant, I know, you know, and probably he knows, because a lot of pastors will go to visit the congregants in the hospital. But why? That's what I'm saying. The pop culture is dominating,
Yeah, they have
or their own biblical values are just withered away. They don't pay attention to that.
No, I think
Because-
like it's their preconceived notions. It's what the because you were asking me, when does the virtues really get inculcated into one's personality? I believe during the formative years, during when you were young and everything. However, it just does so much, because in reality, then you would realize later on how money is that important. That's why.
But when money, so this is a question to you. When you go after money, right? I'm not saying going crazy where you kill people, but when you go after money to just become or have things that you desire to, and again, you can't have everything in life. Should you let go of values, or it just goes away? You forget about that.
Well, it's a personal decision, actually. For me, it's okay to be rich, to be billionaires and everything, so long as you work really hard for that. However, in, say, for example,
Then I'll come and
personally,
ask you to loan me some money.
personally, I wouldn't, I wouldn't look up to someone who went up the scales by what's deceiving others, or like at the expense of others they became that successful. So for me, there should be like some balance at least, and not to forego of like most of your virtues. Yeah, but I think it's human nature that we sin, and then that we forget about the supposedly more important virtues. Because like in the Philippines, say for example, since most of us are Catholics, or even if you're like a Muslim or other religion or no religion at all, you were always thought to be good, like by your parents, even if they're not practicing any religion, right? However, like when you get some money, say for example, if in the Philippines, unfortunately, like the how do you will be perceived as rich, like at least you have something already when you have a car, because not everyone has a car there. And my thing is, like for example, the pedestrian lanes, if you have a car there, you can speed up even if there's a pedestrian lane. So there goes the morality, like it's like, oh, I am more superior than you pedestrian, without, and it doesn't mean to say, because even if you're a pedestrian, it might mean that your car is just parked somewhere. But what I mean to say, in the Philippines, it's like when you cross, you could fear for your life, because the motorist would not really stop their vehicles, even if they see you crossing already. And at one point, I get so frustrated with that each time I would go back to the Philippines, and when I was there, because there was one instance when I was already almost like to the other corner. I've crossed already more than 50%, and this car really didn't stop, and they would always expect the pedestrian to give way to them. So much so that when they realized that I was really going, I got so frustrated. Oh my gosh, my hormones at that time probably, I just, and then I made like an outstretched arm. Oh, you still didn't stop. It almost, what's this, really
Hit
broke.
your knee,
Yeah. So no, it touched already
It touched your knee.
And then I banged the door, like out of anger. Well, I'm an what's this? I'm very passionate at times. I banged the car.
Good, yeah.
Yes, I think, I'm not sure if there might probably happen a little bit, but I was glad that the guy didn't have any gun or anything, because it could be a road rage, and I could be, life is cheap. Sometimes in the Philippines, you could be dead for just no reason at all, or just for a few thousand, not even. But anyways, it's like that. It's just, oh my gosh, where in the world? That's why I really like it, at least here or in other countries also, because the moment you step onto the pavement here with a pedestrian crossing, okay, the cars will yield for you, unless of course if it's green sign for them, well, you don't have the right to.
Yeah.
But it frustrates me, like, why in the world could Filipinos not how do you call that, respect the pedestrian lane? No, they would just
I think
really.
there could be several reasons. First of all, I don't understand.
No, it's like that. It's like, in my view, I believe that we have the right of way more than you. No, it's because when those kind of drivers, when they come over here, of course, I used to drive also in the Philippines, but the reason why I say they, because I give way. When they come over here, they learn how to respect the rules. So it's not about like we don't know the rules. No, it's like it's how you feel in that country. Over here, you will be, oh my God, I will be ticketed. I will be, it's not my country, or even if you're already a permanent resident. But what I mean to say, there's more respect or fear in another country more than you. Why can you follow the rules here and not follow the rules in the Philippines? It is so that's why I've had also car accidents, I think 3 at least in the Philippines, as compared to here 0 when I was when I would drive. So 0, that just goes to show like the how do you call that, the risk when you drive there. It just frustrates me. So
I think, which is so sad, because you're right, I've seen people in Dubai. First time I visited Dubai a long time ago, everyone was so scared of getting ticketed. Even people who used to walk went across the lane and all that. And their way of enforcing the law was making tickets so expensive. And say, oh wait, making tickets so expensive. But I saw the same thing in Singapore. First time I went to Singapore, and they had Singapore also has dollars, right?
Singaporean dollar, yeah.
So they had $1,000 fine
Wow.
for cyclists to go through a tunnel or something. It was just for the
Wow.
pedestrians. So if you have that large of a fine, which
It's
was
so-
gigantic, so
Yeah, that's,
you have a different fear, right?
Yeah.
And which is sad because you were afraid of. So it's a fear-based transformation. It's not morality. The thing is,
Yeah.
and that's what I wish that people around the world, when you are taught at home, when you go to school, you just learn to respect.
Yeah.
And when you learn to respect certain things, certain people, or everybody, then things are different. And here, I was telling you the story of traveling and all that. Someone actually once shared a story. Again, it was more like a conventional wisdom base that you were traveling with someone, and in more like a romantic situation, late night, 1 or 2 a.m., and you pass through an area where there is a red light, but there's no one there, and you can't imagine having a cop there because it's a small rural area. Now, the person driving, you gotta watch and observe. If that person stops at the red light long enough, so it gets to green and then you leave, or the person knows that, there won't be anyone at this time here, and I can just go, right?
Well, I actually see that differently because if you're approaching a pedestrian lane and there's like some people crossing that could potentially be harmed by your actions, then for me it still goes down to morality. So I know it's partly,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
That then, because see, they don't have a fear of law, right? But why would they don't respect another human being? It has to do with moral values, a belief system that they learned at home or at school, or did not learn. In that case, did not learn. And that's why I was asking you, when you were growing up at home and in school, what did you learn about these values that relate to other people, humans, and people in need, or respecting other people and their needs? It's a need. Let's say someone can't walk faster. In that case, the driver might think I should hit them and go because they're wasting my time, right?
Yeah, I don't
So that's crazy. It's a really bad way to say it, but that's really not good. So
and sometimes we forget that person, because you mentioned like elderly old people that they can hardly walk.
or if someone is sick, or there's a pregnant woman,
So
there could be a lot of
unfortunately,
things.
unfortunately, we always see ourselves in the best of health, that we don't see ourselves getting old like them, or like getting paralyzed, because we never know, like later on or whatever, we never know what the future brings. Either you die, or you get an accident, or a freak accident, or like you drank something, like there's some weird stuff now going on, like if you drank this and you have like bacteria, you end up with gangrene, goodbye extremities, crazy things that you never really see yourself in the shoe of the other person, especially if it's someone in need, or like the special circumstances, pregnant, disabled, or like elderly. So yes, and of course, in school also, like I believe that we were disciplined a lot more than the usual by Catholic, because if the school is run by Catholic nuns, the pressure is a lot. Like that's why. So I grew up in the province. First time when I went to the city to work and everything, I got shocked at how like other people were more like aggressive, and then more frank with what they want to say. They're less likely to like filter what they want to say. So it was a culture shock for me the first time I worked in the city. However, when I came here to Philadelphia from Pacific Northwest, was still okay and everything. The South, down South, is still okay. The moment I started working in Philadelphia, first day, okay, I just arrived from 2 days drive from Arkansas, and then like a worker was like already doing this to me. Hey, why don't you hey, like the stress level is just too much. It's like you point fingers at other people without really wanting to find out what happened, or she's just new that she doesn't know. And it's like accusatory all the time. It's so much stress. So yeah, so that was super high level of stress level that from comparison from the province, then to the city life in the Philippines, and then in Kuwait was a different stress. Like people were like shouting at each other. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And that's a normal conversation. That stressed me
That's
out.
just Arabs.
Yes, I didn't know, of course. And you would never really know about it until you. That's why it's very educational when you travel.
Mm.
It's not just like in the books or online or on TV or movies. It's different. You really get to immerse yourself in what's really happening to day in their lives. So yeah, so Philadelphia. So generally the East Coast, oh my gosh, super stressed. So that's why when my brother was asked by my dad, when the petition finally, when he got approved for the green card, my dad asked him, okay, do you want to stay in Norway, or do you want to migrate here in the US? He could be potentially we're assuming that he would be working in Silicon Valley because he's an engineer. My brother said, oh, I'll just be here in Norway, because actually you would see that when you go out of the country, the stress level is like when you said it, yeah. Like here in Norway, oh my gosh, the stress level is really low. So then you realize, why am I creating all this unnecessary stress for myself when it's negative for your longevity, your health, everything. So yes, hopefully we could be more educated as to how to deal with stress and how to address them and how to not to create them, so we can lower the stress level here in America. I mean, that is just in my point of view, coming from the Philippines and then having had traveled elsewhere in the world. So yes, and in fact, you know what? Wow, when I took my dad so I was working in Oregon, I took him Washington, and then we crossed the border to Canada to meet his former workmates in Saudi Aramco, where he worked almost 2 decades. So we went to see his boss, but I was like, oh my gosh, I could not find it. There was something, I could not find the direction and everything. I was so surprised that there was someone on the streets, like just to stop, hey, may I help you? Like really offering to help. And I was
This was
like,
in Canada?
this was in Canada, and I was coming from Oregon at that time. So the stress level in Oregon was not that high, but I didn't have anyone who would stop and offer help. But in Canada, I said, oh my gosh, people are so friendly here. So it's a very good eye opener when you go out, maybe out of town, to other lower stress level, lower stress level states here in America or abroad, to see that it is possible to really live with that kind of peace. Yeah, I believe like when you have less stress, less things going on in your mind, there's like more, you get to enjoy your life because you free yourself from some stuff. So yes.